Hey y'all, so in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a circular round crochet purse, and it's going to have some nice cute little embellishments. I'm going to put wooden handles on there, zipper on there. I'm also going to put some little feet tassels, so just stay to the end to see all that stuff. A few things that are not shown here: you're going to need yarn needle, stitch markers, and scissors. I used a bulky 5-weight yarn. But if you want to use another yarn, that's fine too, but you'll just have to probably customize the number of stitches that you use. So I used a 5-weight yarn, and then these are the wooden hangers. These are the wooden handles that I use, an 8mm crochet hook. So let's go ahead and start by making yourself a magic circle. And now if you're not familiar with a magic circle, you can always click in the description box down below. I'll do a slower tutorial on how to do it. But if you just follow along here on the screen, you might be able to catch on here. See there? Just give it a little twist once you pull it through, and that's the start of your magic circle. Once you have that completed, you're going to go ahead and just do a quick chain stitch, and then I do an additional 2, which is going to serve as my first double crochet stitch. Okay, so that's the length of a double crochet stitch, and we're going to count that as the first one. Once you've done the first one, you're going to insert the crochet hook through the circle, and then you're going to complete 7 more double crochet stitches. Alright, now I intentionally kept my circle pretty large. I wanted to do that so that you guys could see how to put the crochet hook through the circle. As you're working and as you get used to working in the round, you'll learn that the circle doesn't have to be that large to work through it. It's just easier for tutorial purposes to show you all that you're just going to insert the crochet hook through the circle, pull back through the circle once you grab the yarn, like that, and then just continue doing your double crochet stitch. So once you're done with this, you'll have a total of 8 double crochet stitches in that circle. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. So, like I said, it's kind of wide. That's with reason. I need a couple more, so let's go and finish that out. Now, really quickly, the way I structured this video is I'm going to work each round pretty much, but I'm not going to work it all on camera. So I'm going to get you started, and then I'll let you know where to pause the video, and then you can finish, and then you can pick back up. So that's the goal with the video. Otherwise, it would be entirely too long if I did it all on camera. Okay, so once you have your 8 double crochet stitches that you created inside the circle, just go ahead and shape it up so that it actually looks round, and that doesn't take much. Just kind of move it around. Once you have it where it's pretty much pulled together, then you're going to make yourself a slip knot, and we're going to start on round 2. So go ahead to make your slip knot. Now I was just showing you that chain right there. You can work it along as you go around, or you just leave it dangling, and we'll figure it out in the end where we kind of weave it back through the project. So that first stitch there that you started, that chain 3, you're going to insert your crochet hook to the top of that stitch, just like I have done there, yarn over, and then just pull through both. Now that's my slip stitch, and then I'm going to chain 3, and this is how we're going to start round 2. Okay, so this is how this is going to work. We're going to work in rounds. So instead of me doing rows, we'll do rounds. In that very first stitch, we're going to go ahead and make another double crochet stitch. So you have 2 double crochet stitches in each stitch around, and this is how we're going to create round 2. So in your next area, and I wish I would have used a lighter color yarn, but I think you'll be able to catch on. Just kind of keep following along with this with the screen, but you're going to find the next space, the next stitch, and you're going to do 2 double crochet stitches in that one. You can see the hole really good now there. Okay, and you'll continue doing this all the way around, putting 2 double crochet stitches in each stitch around. Okay, and just find your next hole. You see how it pulls apart there? So at the very beginning of the project, of the round, it does seem a little bit tighter, but as you work around, it'll be really easy for you to identify the actual stitches. Okay, and then we're going to do our second one. Alrighty. And again, I think I've mentioned it before, but if you don't know, I have the written instructions will be on my blog at ahselland.com, and I'll leave that information somewhere in the video as well as in the description box, just in case. Sometimes it's easier to work projects if you have something written down. You can kind of check it off as you go along. But here I'm just showing you again how to do a double crochet stitch. Alrighty. So we're getting close to getting around. You're going to have 16 of these stitches. So why don't you go ahead and pause the video at this point and continue to go around until you get to the beginning of your circle, and then I'll show you what to do from there. So just continue off your round 2, having 16 stitches. Okay, so this is what it should look like. I'm just going to give it a little count, make sure that I have 16 stitches. And this part is pretty important, guys, because if not, the circle won't grow symmetrically if you don't have enough stitches or too many stitches. So kind of remember that from this beginning part. So just like we did before, we're going to slip stitch into that very first chain of 3, and that completes our circle. Chain 3, and now we're going to work round 3. So now round 3 is going to be very similar to round 2. We're going to continue to grow our circle. So we're going to do 2 double crochet stitches in each stitch around. So remember that chain of 3 counted as your first one. You're going to do another double crochet in the same exact spot. Then you're going to skip to the next stitch and then continue doing double crochet stitches across. And truthfully, that very first stitch, this first stitch area where you're doing the first set of stitches, that's the toughest part of a round, just identifying where your stitch is. But after that, it's pretty easy to see. Okay, so I'm going to work a few of these on camera so that you can kind of see how it gets started. And then again, just like what I did in round 2, I'm going to pause. I'm going to indicate that you can pause the video, and that way you're able to work around and catch back up to where I'm going to pick back up. So that's what it's looking like. Round 3, 2 double crochet stitches in each stitch around. Go ahead and pause the video here if you need to, and then let's work till we get to round 4. Okay, so this is what round 3 looks like when it's complete. That should be a total of 32 double crochet stitches. Go ahead into that first chain of 3 like we did for the previous 2 rounds. You're going to slip stitch through and make another chain of 3. Alright, now round 4 is considered our increase round. So just follow along with me for a little bit, because this is going to be our first increase round. It's not hard, but we just want to make sure we do it correctly. In that very first stitch like we did before, you're going to add another double crochet stitch. So essentially you'll have 2 at the very beginning. Then in the next stitch, you're going to just do 1 double crochet stitch. Not 2, just the 1. Okay, and then in the next stitch you're going to do 2 double crochet stitches. So essentially you've done 2 double crochet stitches, then you did 1, you're going to do 2, and then you're going to do 1, and you're going to continue that pattern all the way until you get back to the beginning. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few more times around because this is a pattern, and then after that I'll pause the video again, and then, well, I won't pause it, but you can pause it and then continue working the round, and we'll move on from there. Okay, so we've already done our 2. Now it's time to do 1 double crochet stitch, and into the next stitch we're going to do 2. And this is gradually increasing our round, which allows the surface of our bag to stay flat. And if we were making a hat, you would you might not go an increased round at 5. You would just kind of stop, and then the shape would start shaping up like a bowl. So that's what it's looking like. Okay, so go ahead. I'm going to suggest you pause the video here if you want, finish working around, and then once we get this round complete, we'll start on round 5. So you see there, I'm just going to give it a quick count row, guys. And when I count, I'm really just counting the double crochet post. That's how I'm determining how many stitches I have. So you see how it's still looking flat, and that's exactly what we want. Okay, so go ahead again. We've done this a few times now. You're going to slip stitch into the first that first chain of 3, and then you're going to do a chain of 3. And that's going to move us right into round 5. Okay, in that same stitch, you're going to do another double crochet stitch. Okay, and then just like in the previous round, you're going to do 1 double crochet stitch in the next stitch. Then you're going to do 1 double crochet stitch into the next stitch. So that, again, we're increasing this round. Then we're going to do 2 double crochet stitches. All right. Then we're going to repeat. So we're going to do 1 double crochet stitch in the next stitch. And then you're going to do 1 into the next stitch. And then you're going to do 2. Okay, so that is the repeat. So you do 2 double crochet stitches at the very beginning, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and then 2 double crochet. And that is how you're going to continue to do round 5 until you get back to the beginning, where we will then slip stitch. So that's what it's looking like. 1, 1, 2, and then you're going to do 1, 1. So this is a good opportunity for you to, I'm going to go ahead and suggest you pause the video here, continue working all around, and then we'll meet back when we're ready to start round 6. All right. So just like with your previous round, you're going to slip stitch, and we're going to start round 6. Ooh, okay, wait. Don't follow that. I actually did a single crochet stitch. Just continue to do a slip stitch. Weird what you see when you look back at your videos. Chain 3, and we're gonna keep going, guys. That's not gonna stop this purse. It's gonna get made. Do 2 double crochet stitches, and this is also an increase round. Round 6 is also an increase round. Then you're gonna do 1 double crochet stitch in the next stitch, 1 double crochet into the next stitch after that, and then 1 double crochet stitch in the next stitch after that. So we have increased the round one more time. Then you're going to do 2 double crochet stitches into the same space, into the same stitch. Okay. And I'm going to show you the pattern one more time on camera, and then again, we're going to pause the video if you need to, and you can keep working. So you've already done your 2 double crochets. Now you're doing 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and then your last double crochet of that pattern. And then you start it all over again. Okay? So rounds 4, 5, and 6 are increase rounds for this project. And I actually put the stitch count and all that other stuff in the Wear in directions on my blog. So if you want to know all of the details on that, just please head over there and check that out. Okay, and now if you want to pause the video here, you're just going to continue that pattern all the way around until we get back to the beginning. Okay, now round 7 through 10 I do not do on camera, but what I am going to show you is I do a color change, and all I did was I just tied the yarn to the beginning section there, and then I went ahead and created a chain of 3, and now I'm just going to go around, and I'm going to go into every stitch just doing 1 double crochet stitch. So on this round 7, 8, 9, and 10, you no longer do any more increases, and you no longer put double crochet stitches in any stitch. So that first chain 3, that's going to count as your first stitch, and you're going to go into the next stitch and do another double crochet stitch. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So for these rounds here, you're just going to go all the way around doing double crochet stitches, and you should have a total of 80 stitches, but like I said, all that's going to be over on my blog. So that's what it looks like when you first do your first chain, color change. I'm going to just change back to the original color because I just wanted one little stripe to add a little pop of color to my bag. You don't have to do a color change if you don't want to, okay? And then again, you're just going to go all the way around. Now, this is what it looks like when you have completed all your 10 rounds, and you're just going to turn around and do it one more time so you can have 2 panels, a front and a back. So this is your entire 10 rounds completed. Okay, so now let's talk about the zipper area. I don't actually end up using that zipper. I found another one that was a little shorter and had gold teeth, which kind of added a little pop to the bag. But let's just talk about how we put it on the bag, okay? So what you're going to have to do is I created a row of single crochet stitches along with a slip stitch row to create like a space for the zipper to anchor to the bag. So all I did was, once I finished my round, I did a chain of 1 and then I did a row of single crochet stitches. See, just like this. So I did it to the length of the zipper, so it's probably no more than 10 or 11 stitches, but I'll have that information listed. Then you're going to yarn over, and you're going to chain up and then do a slip stitch down. So basically I did a row of single crochet stitches and then a row of slip stitches. And all that did was, like I said, it created an area for me to sew the zipper down to. Now onto the purse. Now remember, you did 1 round of, so see, that's what it's looking like. You're going to do this step to both panels. So you know, with this being a purse, you'll have to do this all over again. This is the zipper that I ended up going with, and as you can see here, it's right on that little lip area that we created. And I'm going to just put straight pins down to hold it in place, and then I'm going to hand sew. And I didn't do that on camera, you all, because sewing on camera is very difficult because you need to be able to see up close, and I wanted it to be neat. So that's what it looks like when you get halfway sewn. When I do my second section, as you can see, I've done 2 panels. I'm going to stitch it to the other side of the bag using a regular standard polyester yarn and a regular sewing needle. Okay, once you have your zipper down, then you're going to line up the 2 panels, because you remember you had to create 2, it's a purse. So the zipper is down and it's functioning. My zipper is going to be on the side of my bag. I thought it was neat because when you have such a large bag, sometimes it's easier to pull things through from the side as opposed to going through the top. Okay, so I use my stitch markers and I have secured the bag together, and I'm going to just use a yarn needle and the same yarn that I used to construct the bag. I'm going to use it to sew the bag together. And all I did was whip stitching. So I just picked up the stitch from both sides of the bag. This wasn't not overcomplicated, and I just sewed around in a circle. Okay? And that's pretty much how I did the sewing of the bag. I took my time and I did it. I went around twice because I don't want the bag to fall apart, and I wanted it to be neat. So I don't show this on camera. I just want to show you how I got started. Now for the handle section, I had already secured my handles. I knew where I wanted them because I did that when I put on the zipper. And I just took the same needle and the same yarn, and I just whip stitch around the plastic area on that wooden handle. So however you want to secure the handles is up to you. This is just how I did it, and I whip stitched probably around 7 or 8, maybe even 12 times just to make sure that it was really secure. And I did that for all parts of the handle. So there's 4 areas that I had to sew down, and I did it for all 4. I mean, and that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section down below. I'm also pretty active on Instagram, and if you have that type of an account, please reach out to me over there. I can answer questions a little bit quicker. And this is what the bag looks like. I did add a tassel for a little bit more embellishment, a little bit more flair. I added some feet to the bottom of it that allows it to kind of keep a little bit better shape when it's sitting with product and things inside of it. And that's how I made the bag. It's a simple project. Written instructions again are on my blog, and that's it. So if you want to see some more pictures, just kind of stay tuned to the very end. And that's all, guys. I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support. And if you haven't hit the notification bell, please do so. I put out videos as much as possible. Thanks, guys. Bye.